Okay, this is stuff that you have been mean, median, mode, and range. How many of you remember that? It's since sixth grade. You have seen that, okay? Which one meant the average?
The median.
Mean. Which one was the middle? Median. Which one is the most?
Mode.
And the difference between the smallest and the largest. Okay. All right. Now, if we were to need to find all four of these with this set of data, does anybody remember what the first step you would do? Nobody. What the first step you would do with this set of data to find these?
You would make a line, put the smallest to largest, and find the middle.
Okay, so the answer I was looking for was put them in order. Largest to smallest or smallest to largest. Preferably least to greatest. Okay, so what is my smallest number?
10.
So I have 10. What's my next smallest
10.
number? 10. Then what?
12. 16. 18. 18. 24. 24. 30.
I'm gonna run out of room.
32. 35. And 42.
Good job, Caleb. Okay, so I put them in order for least to greatest. Which one is the easiest to identify? No math involved whatsoever.
The medium.
Mode. Mode stands for the most often, so that's a number that repeats the most.
10 and 24.
24 and 18.
Okay, can you have more than one mode? Yes. Can you have no mode?
No.
Yes. Okay, so I can have one, I can have several, or I can have none. Okay, because sometime, in this case, I have three different numbers that repeat the exact same amount of times. So I would have to list all of them, 10, 18, and 24. Now let's say I added one more 10 to that data set. What would my mode be then?
10.
Just 10, because then I have three of it, and those two would only have two. Okay? If all of them repeated the same amount of times, or all of them appeared once, would there be a mode? No. All right. What is the next easiest one? Range. No, I would say range, because I take my largest and my smallest and subtract. 32. Okay. Then what? Median. Okay, do y'all remember how to find the median? Okay, you gotta go back and forth, and you keep crossing until you are left with a number in the middle.
One number of 2.
Okay, so right here I've now crossed off the same, and I'm left with 2 in the middle. What does that mean?
18 and 24 are
No, you can only have one median. No.
Divide.
I add and divide, because I find the mean of the two, the average of the two. So 18 plus 24 is what?
Oh my gosh, 42.
42. And then I divide by 2. So that gives me what? 42 divided by 2? 21. So 21 is my median.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. So when I have two numbers in the middle, Caleb, that was rude. When I have two numbers in the middle and I don't have one, I have to add them together and divide by 2. You find the average of the two middle numbers. Okay? And here's the thing. Somebody was like, well, how do you know if we're going to have 2? Is there an easy way? If you have a data set that has an even number, because I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So if your data set has an even number, you're going to have to find the average of the two to get your median, because there will not be one number left in the middle. If your data set has an odd number, you will only have one median. Okay? Okay.
Odd, you only have one.
Odd, you only have one. Even is when you're going to have to find like an average between the two. Okay, mean. It means to find the average. Well, if we found the average by adding and dividing, don't you think we're going to have to do the same thing? So you need to plug every single one of these numbers into your calculator. So do that now. Every single one. And make sure you do it right.
Do we use stat and edit?
Not yet. No, we're not doing that yet.
What do we do for that?
You put them on your calculator and add them together, like I just said. Adding every single number. Sierra, where's your calculator? What good is it doing for you when it's dead in your backpack?
You need to charge that.
So what did you say? So the mean.
For the mean is when you add them all up,
Uh-huh.
and then you divide by how many you added together. So since I have 12
Oh, okay.
numbers in my set, I divide by 12. Uh-huh.
Wait, what was that?
Okay, so Deanna said she got 271 when she added them all together. Okay, so then you probably left a 10 off,
How you get the average?
is what I would guess.
I got 271.
Okay, so when you add them all up, you should get 271. So if I get 271, then what do I do?
Divide by 2.
No.
Divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12.
Okay, why am I dividing by 12?
Because there's 12 numbers.
Because there's 12 numbers.
22.5.
Okay, it's going to give me this weird long number here, right?
Method reader.
Now, if I wanted to write this exactly as a decimal, how could I write this correctly?
22.5833.
Oh, I did.
Okay, so my exact number, how I would write this, is 22.583, the bar over the 3. Why do I put the bar over the 3?
Because it's repeating.
It's repeating.
But it doesn't have a 7 at the end, so it's not repeating.
Yes, it is. Don't. We're not going to go there today. All right, but this one says round to the nearest 10th. So how do I round it to the nearest 10th? Which decimal place is the 10th place?
Oh, the one right after this one.
The one right after the decimal. Okay, so this is the one I'm rounding. So I look at the number behind it. 8 makes us do what? Makes us go up. 22.6.
Is that all?
That's it. Okay, that's how you have been trained to do it since learning about this. Okay?
Now we're gonna change it.
Now we're going to find an easier way to do it. Okay. If you look right here. No, it's going to be so much easier.
I know, I feel it.
Okay,
I feel it.
so
Me too.
this one right here.
Oh well.
That's it. I like
That says X is the mean. That X with the bar is the mean. This right here, and I would box this in, underline them something on your notes. Okay? You don't have to highlight. You can underline or just do this. Just draw a box. Okay? Those are going to be the ones that you need today.
What does it start with? The minute?
Yes.
Jaden, you're doing that on purpose. Or you are.
Okay,
I don't have it. I don't know where I left it.
so,
Sierra, you need to get one back tomorrow.
well, she has one. You need to charge it.
You know?
All right. So, what we're looking at here, these are two different ways to look at our number set as data. Okay, we have quantitative data, which quantitative just means basically a whole bunch of numbers. Okay, we look at it in halves. We have a
I
median,
don't need you right now.
which splits our set in half, and then we have a median of our lower half and a median of our upper half. Okay, these are called the first quartile and the third quartile. All that means is it's the median of the first half and the second half. Okay.
Wait, what?
Wait, and it's like if we were crossing out all of
Like
them
if
and
I
finding
just
the middle
wanted
one.
to look at my first half of my data,
That's the middle one.
the first quartile, Q1, is the median of that first part of your data. That would be the median of the first half.
Okay.
And then if I closed it and I want to be like, I want to look at my second half, my median would be my third quartile. Okay.
That's just the
Fancy
names
dancy
for it,
names,
right?
yeah. Mhm. Okay.
Don't-
Now, does anybody remember the name of this type of graph? Nobody at all? It had
I remember that.
Oh, wait.
no. All animals have them on their face.
Whiskers.
Whiskers. That's part of the name. But what is this?
It's a box.
So a box and whisker plot.
A whisker
Okay.
box plot, something like that.
Okay.
Box and whiskers.
Box and whisker plot.
What?
That's just odd.
Yeah.
Why can't it just be
Whisker. It's a weird
Box
word,
and whisker.
isn't it? Whisker. Whisker.
Get onto a word like that.
Okay. So box and whisker plots because these are our whiskers. This is our box.
See, I would have thought whiskers were the top one.
Me too.
Okay. Now,
Who's coming up with this?
oh, that's a good question. Because, so our box is representing the middle part, the most of our data. Okay? Now, if you ever see this, interquartile range, it also means IQR. You should have learned that term in 6th grade. Also, Ariana, put it down and pay attention, please. That's so great. Put it down and pay attention, please.
Ariana.
Okay. Let's flip it over because we're going to use this in just a minute. So you can stay. Don't flip yours back over. This right here, 5-number summary. It is using a minimum value, a quartile 1, median, quartile 3, and maximum value of a set of data. Okay? It's a way to summarize a set of data. And you're about to see how to do that. Okay? It's not bad, I promise. Okay. So, right here, it says determine the 5-number summary and interquartile range. We're going to say IQR because it's so much easier to say that. Okay? Of the data set. And then draw a box plot of the data. Sometimes they'll take the whisker off
With
to make it
whiskers or
easier.
no whiskers?
Yes, with whiskers. Okay.
It's not important.
So, here's some things that you're going to need to write at the top of your paper. You're going to need to write the steps of the calculator on how to do this. Okay? So, right here, at the edge, we're going to write calc because this is our calculator rules. Okay? I'll zoom in a little bit. Calc because we're writing our calculator rules.
Wyatt Parks. I want to see you writing that.
Okay. Our first one is the stat button. We are very familiar with this button, yes? Okay. What do you think is going to come next?
Edit.
Okay. Stat edit. So I want you to do that real quick. Stat edit.
Schwender. You writing?
Okay. So just for the sake of getting you to understand what we're doing, I want you to clear everything out of your 2 tables. Mhm. L2 doesn't really matter, but at least L1, I want everything out.
Do it in your head, Sierra.
Okay. So our next step, and write it up here, we're going to put our values in L1. Okay? These are our values. Our table, our data set, those are our values. We're going to plug those into L1. Okay, so let's do that now. Does it do you think it matters in order? Is our calculator smarter than we are? Calculator smarter than we are. We don't have to put it in order. It'll do it for us. So if you wanted to go this way, that's fine. If I wanted to go up and down, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Just enter it in. Oh, what did I do? Gosh, make sure you enter it correctly. Because if you enter one number wrong or add an extra number in, it is going to give you the wrong thing. We had 15 numbers in there, so if you are over your last number, you should see like L15 because it's your 15th value. What?
About that. I don't have 15. How much you got? 14. Go back.
Okay, if you're prone to making mistakes because this is a lot of numbers and I want to make sure I did it right, as you put them in your calculator, check them off.
It's okay, Michelle. I'm right.
Okay, your next step, we're going to write it at the top. We're going to hit stat again.
No, but I'll cover for Mr. Adams because they all have an army and shade.
Okay, so once we hit stat, we're going to hit stat. What do you think we're going to do next? We're going to go over to calc. We're going to write that next up here. We're not doing 4.
3.
It'll be 2.
Nope.
7. It's the bar.
Just
It's
click
the
enter.
stuff.
Just click enter.
Because we're gonna the number 1 that's highlighted. So when I was right here and I went over to calc, it's highlighted on number 1. In our table, did we only use one variable, one part of our table?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why we're hitting this one stats. Okay, so we're gonna hit enter.
That's not what mine looks like.
Okay, so it's kind of like when we hit stat edit and we hit calc and 4, it brings up a whole bunch. We just have to go down to calculate. But your list should say L1 right after it.
Oh, this is kind of fun.
Okay, once you're there and when it's highlighting on calculate, you hit enter.
Oh, that's the same thing.
Okay, so then we go down. All right, see, it gives us all this stuff. If we look, you got your X with the bar over it, right? So that's our mean. So if it asks us to find the mean of the data set, that's it.
I got lost.
Okay, we don't need any of this, but if we scroll down, so everybody watch what I'm doing on the screen. I'm going to scroll down where I see that min. That's what I want. Because if I look what I highlighted the minimum through the max. I need my min through my max. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm doing a what kind of summary? 5-number summary. So, my min, according to my calculator, is what? 68. My Q1 was what? 71. My median was what?
74.
74. My Q3 is?
75.
And my max is?
76.
Okay. That right there is my 5-number summary.
That's all.
That's it. So we did the first step, but then it said it wanted us to do what?
And draw a box.
Draw a box and whisker plot, okay? So somebody was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. That sounds hard. It's not hard, okay? Now, our smallest number was what? 68. Our largest number was what? So I'm going to create a number line that has those numbers on it, okay? So 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76. I drew too long of a number line. Okay, so I have 68. I'm going to count by 2s because I write really big and it would be really squished together. Okay, you can label every single line if you want to. It doesn't matter. Okay, as long as you have every point represented, it doesn't matter. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to put a dot at every one of those numbers. So I have 68, 71, 74, 75, and 76. Okay. To go from the outside of my data in 1
Wait, we're putting a dot in which one?
on all our numbers right
All
here.
of them?
Mm-hmm. Okay, to go from the outside to the inside, right there, I made my whiskers. And then
That's all.
that's it. Was that hard? Okay, so what was 68 representing over here? That's my minimum number.
Is all
Okay.
going to be a part of your answer?
This is one answer. This is one
That's
answer.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm just kind of explaining it a little bit more. So this one, 71, that was my quartile 1. So that was my Q1. 74 was my median. This is my Q3, and this is my max. So this plot, this data, this picture represented this set of numbers. Okay? All right, so it's saying, look right here. You see how these are like 1 unit apart? Was there a whole lot? Was there more numbers of 74 through 76? 75, 76, 75, 76, 75, 76, 75, 74. So there were a whole lot more numbers in this range, right? That's why they're clustered together. So when you see them close, that represents a cluster. Whereas here, I had a big gap in my data. Okay. There wasn't as many.
Wait, I have a question. The
Mhm.
box, how did we find out it's from 71 to 75?
Because I used this to tell me that. Oh, because that's what it says. Q1. Is it 71?
Q3?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever's Q1, Q3, that's what goes
That
in
makes
the
up your box.
Okay.
In the middle.
And I know that because it says it right here.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So this is a star question. This is one way it might test this. All right. So it says, based on the information in the box and whisker plots, which statement about the time spent exercising outside of class appears to be true? Okay, so it says the median. Well, this is our median, right? The median amount of time the first class spent exercising was greater, so this is my first class, and it was at 60, was greater than the amount of time the second class spent. Well, the second class was greater than the first, right? 75 is greater than 60. Yes, so that's wrong. The range for the second class was less than the range of the first class. So it's saying that the second class had a smaller range. Well, from 105 to 30 is bigger than from 90 to 30, right? They have a bigger range, so that's a no. The interquartile range, so IQR, for the first class was less than the IQR for the second class.
C.
Why?
Just because that's the only one that has been true.
Okay, IQR is your,
Interquartile range.
okay, and you would find it by doing Q3 minus Q1. So if I do this minus this is smaller. This box is smaller, right? Yes? This box is bigger. So which one's going to have the bigger or smaller interquartile range? The second class is what in comparison to the first class?
Smaller.
So this box is smaller than this box?
No.
No.
Larger.
It's larger. Okay. So is the box of the first one less than the box of the second one? Yes, that's our answer. I know, but I needed them to come to that conclusion.
I'm learning him too.
I know, and you're doing a great job. Proud teacher. All right, the minimum amount of time the second class spent exercising was greater.
Nope.
No, they have the same minimum, right? Yep. Okay, so right now, Kobe was the only one answering my questions. All right. What does this look like?
I need to draw.
That looks like a chart. Or linear.
That's what we did yesterday. You don't touch Butler.
Oh, yeah. Got it.
All right. So this is kind of what we did. No, this is what you had on your test, all right?
I have one.
So if I draw a trend line through this, I cannot ever draw a straight line.
In the line, we need to make sure that it's always from the first one.
Well, with this, it's in the line.
Okay, because see, I always draw my line like where the
Trending.
zero is with the origin.
Yeah.
It's
No, you got to start about where your data is. Uh-huh. Okay, so this wants to know, based on the scatter plot, what is the best prediction? Guys, I'm talking. Y'all need to listen. What is the best prediction of the speed when the air temperature is 50 degrees? Kobe, take that paper. Okay.
What is the best prediction of the speed? 360.
So if 50 was here, where do y'all think it would be on the trend line?
355.
That would be 50.
Well, 355 is right here.
360.
360.
Yeah. I said 360.
Because this is 350. But, honey.
But I thought we were trying to go like past.
Hey.
No, well,